Hi, welcome back to Fast Recap, and today I'm going to tell you about a 1997 movie called Lolita. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's incredibly important to us and motivates us to create more quality content. Young Humbert spends his vacation in hot Cannes. He meets a beautiful girl, Annabelle. The teenagers in love enjoy a carefree life and spend time on the beach under the sultry summer sun. But the story of Humbert's first love ends tragically. Annabelle dies of typhoid fever. Being a grown man, still carries in his heart the pain of losing a loved one. Humbert works as a teacher at an American college. For the whole summer, he goes on vacation to complete work on a book on French literature. The place of his creative refuge becomes the house of a young widow, Charlotte Hayes. The woman is very pretty, but Humbert does not pay attention to her. The widow's daughter, 12 years old Dolores, charms the man with her resemblance to Annabelle, who died many years ago. From the first day, Humbert does not take his eyes off the young girl, whom her mother calls Lolita. The teacher works on the book at night. To distract himself, the man turns on the radio. Lolita walks in on him and asks him to turn the music down. Humbert turns off the radio at the girl's request and secretly goes to follow her. When he goes down to the first floor, he sees her sitting on the kitchen floor by the open refrigerator. Lolita is eating ice cream with raspberries and looks adorable at this moment. The girl notices the man's keen gaze and shows interest in him herself. Lolita allows herself defiant antics on the edge of the behavior of a teenager and a grown woman. From this moment begins a love flirtation between the heroes. Charlotte also gives Humbert signs of attention, which the man accepts coldly. But the young widow in her dreams is already making plans for a new marriage. To arrange a happy family life takes Lolita away to a boarding house against her will. Before leaving, Lolita gives Humbert his first passionate kiss, and Charlotte leaves a frank letter in which she talks about love and asks the man to wait for her return if he has reciprocal feelings. Humbert decides to stay and marry the woman he does not love. He patiently endures cohabitation with Charlotte. The man drugs his wife with sleeping pills every day to avoid sleeping with her. Charlotte, however, thinks she's in paradise, until the day she finds Humbert's passionate letters to Lolita, in which he calls the woman all kinds of swear words. Insulted and humiliated, Charlotte announces her decision to leave. That same day, while crossing the road, she is hit by a car. With Charlotte's death, Humbert's dream comes true. Between him and Lolita, there is no longer an obstacle. Introducing himself as a father, the happy man takes the girl from the boarding house. Humbert and Lolita ride in the car alone. The girl continues her licentious behavior and changes her clothes in the backseat of the car. The man says that Charlotte is in the hospital. Lolita believes that Humbert has stopped being interested in her. To prove otherwise, Humbert stops the car on the side of the road and kisses his lover. The couple arrives at the hotel. While Humbert asks the receptionist for their room number, Lolita crawls on her knees toward a small dog in the lobby. The leash is being held by a respectable man. He tells Lolita that his doggy only likes people who are nice and cute. In the evening, Humbert and Lolita have dinner at a restaurant. The girl says that at one of the tables sits the famous writer Quilty, and she saw him in the morning in the lobby with a dog. Lolita is tired, and in the room after dinner, Humbert puts the girl to bed to rest. He leaves Lolita alone in the room and goes out, locking the door. The man walks out onto the hotel terrace. A mysterious stranger in a rocking chair starts a conversation about Lolita and suggests lunch the next day for the three of us. Humbert warily replies that Lolita is his daughter and retires back to his room. Back in the room, Humbert finds Lolita asleep. He puts on his pajamas, lies down in bed, and gazes at the young girl beside him. Passionate thoughts do not give him rest, but the man does not dare to do anything. However, in the morning, when Lolita wakes up, she shows Humbert the intention for a more serious intimacy. So the man realizes that from the boarding house, Lolita came as a grown woman. On the road, he tries to draw out the story of who was her first lover. But now the girl herself refuses to discuss this topic. When the couple stops at a gas station, Lolita asks Humbert for money and the phone number of the hospital to call her mother. The man reveals the truth and tells Lolita that Charlotte has died. All the next night in the hotel room, Lolita cries bitterly. She appears in Humbert's room and crawls under the covers. Having cried out her grief in one night, Lolita again behaves like a happily naughty teenager. She sings songs in the car, sucks candy, and does tricks when Humbert drives. And in yet another hotel room, she flushes the toilet so that the man in the shower is doused with hot water. While traveling, the couple quarrels and reconciles. The man tolerates all the antics of the teenage girl and lovingly satisfies her whims, such as playing tennis. In return, he gets what he wants in a hotel room. Humbert decides to live with Lolita in a small town and, posing as a father, gives the girl to the local women's gymnasium. The man finds himself in a dual role, a passionate lover and at the same time a happy father. Humbert braids Lolita's pigtails, helps her study history, and jealously controls her relationships with her boy peer. Lolita begins to run short of pocket money and manipulates Humbert's attraction to her to double the amount she receives. Unable to resist temptation, the man agrees to give her $2 of pocket money instead of $1. In order to control Lolita, Humbert comes to a backstage rehearsal of a play. Mona, a friend of Lolita's, speaks to him. She points to a man at the entrance to the hall and tells him that it's Claire Quilty. Humbert is informed that Lolita is skipping her piano lessons. To his claim, the girl says that she was with a friend in the park and even gives Mona's phone number to confirm her words. But Humbert does not believe it. He realizes that the girls are in cahoots. The man loses his temper and directly expresses his suspicion that Lolita wants to run away and at the same time demands to give all the accumulated money. Lolita is insolent, calling him an old lecher from whom she earned the money and is not going to give it back, to which she receives a hard slap from Humbert. With tears and resentment, Lolita leaves the house on a bicycle. Humbert rushes to look for her and finds her late at night in a cafe by the phone. Seeing him, the girl quickly ends the conversation. Her mood has changed. Lolita again behaves sweetly and flirts with him, then quickly returns Humbert's favor to himself. On the way home in the pouring rain, the girl tells him about her desire to go on a trip by car again, only on the condition that she herself will choose the route. At night, the couple solidifies the truce. Humbert and Lolita are on the road. The girl enthusiastically informs him of the cities and dates of their route. The happy man agrees to everything. Humbert's peace is interrupted by suspicions that they are being followed. In the rearview mirror, he sees a car following them. Humbert asks Lolita to write down the license plate number in a notebook. The girl complies with his request, but at the same time tries to tug his attention. At yet another gas station, Humbert lingers at a sunglasses display where he sees an unfamiliar man in a suit talking to Lolita. Concerned that a stalker is caught up with them, Humbert runs outside, but the stranger is gone. When questioned, Lolita replies that the man is lost and asks for directions. Humbert is concerned and senses danger. He asks Lolita to take out the notebook where the license plate number is written down and sees that the girl has written on top another letters and numbers. This makes him lose his temper and punches Lolita in the face. In tears, the girl runs out of the car, but Hubert manages to catch up with her and calm her down. At the hotel, the man tries to smooth the conflict and goes to the store to buy bananas for Lolita. On the way, he also stops by the barbershop to tidy up. When he returns, he finds Lolita with dirty feet and red lipstick smeared on her face. He realizes that the girl has been out of the room and has been seeing someone else. Lolita looks at him smugly and has no intention of answering his questions. Humbert throws her on the bed and tries to shake out the truth. But the girl only laughs in the face of the desperate man. During the night, Humbert feels bad. Someone knocks on the door. Opening it, he sees unidentifiable masked men who are also laughing in his face. When checking into yet another hotel, Lolita says she does not feel well. The man takes Lolita to the hospital, where the doctor demands to keep her overnight. Early the next day, Humbert calls the hospital. The nurse informs him that Lolita has recovered and has been picked up by another man. On the spot, he causes a scandal. Like a madman, he throws himself at the nurses, knocks down the doctor, and beats his head on the floor, demanding to know where his daughter has disappeared to. A police car pulls up and brings him to his senses. The distraught man apologizes for his behavior and leaves. Humbert leaves the hotel and begins his search for the kidnapper. He looks for records of him in the hotel's guest books, knowing his handwriting. Several months of obsessive hunting pass without result, and Humbert returns to the city. 3 years later, he receives a short letter from Lolita. She asks for money. Instead of sending a check, Humbert decides to drive it himself. Before the trip, he practices shooting a revolver. At Lolita's address, Humbert finds an old house. The girl opens the door for him. Dolores no longer looks like the wild teenager he remembers her to be. Calm, wearing homemade clothes and glasses, she invites him in. Humbert looks around the house and through the glass of the back door, sees a young man on the stairs. It is Lolita's husband, but it is not the man he is looking for. Lolita tells him that Claire Quilty stalked them and took her away from hospital. Remembering him, Lolita smiles dreamily and calls him the only man she ever loved. but he threw her out. Quilty filmed little girls in his mansion, and Lolita was only a potential actress for him. When she said she wasn't going to be a part of it, Quilty kicked her out. Humbert suggests that she leave with him right now. Instead of answering, Lolita hints at the money she wrote about in the letter. Humbert hands her an envelope containing $4,000. Lolita is grateful to the man, but does not agree to go with him. She says that she would rather go back to Quilty. On the porch at parting, Humbert asks if she will ever be able to forgive him. The girl does not answer, and Humbert gets into the car. Suddenly, he sees the previous Lolita in front of him, a carefree, smiling girl in short shorts. From Lolita's porch, the man goes to the Quilty mansion. He finds the writer strolling around the house in an open robe. Without further ado, Humbert pulls out a revolver, puts bullet after bullet into him, and when Quilty has already lost a lot of blood, makes a control shot. The police chase Humbert's car, but he has no intention of fleeing. The man stops the car and surrenders. A short time later, Humbert dies in prison from a coronary thrombosis. Lolita and her daughter die in childbirth on Christmas Day. That's all for today. What do you think of this movie? Write your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more such videos.